And we're
Right.
just going to try to get at that.
And it's really important, especially at the moment, to share that message. So excellent. Well done on that line of thought there, because with all this talk about the NHR and getting down to all the kind of financial sides of things, I'll let you into a little secret. I'm writing my column for Portugal Resident, and I've thought about using the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, as a guide or as a way of resetting people's perception about Portugal. And it's been a difficult few months, let's face it. Some people's confidence has been shaken a little bit, and some people are reviewing their plans, which you should do anyway, of course. I don't think anyone should move here blindly or blithely without being fully informed of what they're doing. But we have had quite the emphasis, haven't we, on the financial aspect, possibly forgetting about the 80%, and this is the point I think I'll be making, is that all of that financial, bureaucratic, admin type stuff, rendering unto Caesar, if you like, is only 20% of life here, if that. And I know it causes 80% of the stress you're likely to experience in that Pareto way. But it is a really good way of getting the perspective back, as is what your upcoming webinar comparing lifestyle, because that's the important thing in the end. And it was Rahman, wasn't it, who said a couple of weeks ago, all of these things are the icing on the cake. The NHR, for example, it's the icing on the cake. If it doesn't happen for you, you still get the cake. And the cake is 80%, and the icing is 20% or less, isn't it? Right. So absolutely right, Jacqui. Let's focus a bit more, bring it back, and de-escalate, de-emotionalize all the current concerns, which, fair enough, people should have those concerns. These are changes that will affect people in a real way, but let's get them into perspective. So perhaps that's what's behind your new focus, on comparing lifestyles.
And for me, I've said this to many people I've consulted with. I grew up in urban areas. I mean, I grew up in New York City in not great neighborhoods. I grew up taking New York City subways. I've lived in Los Angeles, Boston. So I understand high crime rates and how to live with that level of stress on a daily basis that you're not even aware of because you grow up in it.
Yeah.
And I know what it feels like to let go of that stress.
Yes. Yeah.
And that for me is a huge, like letting your breath out moment.
Yep.
Because for the first time, when I moved here, it took me a while to let go of it. And when I go back to New York City to visit my mother, I have to remember how to access that again. And I don't
okay. So you've gone all innocent, have you? And like a country bumpkin going back to the city life.
I don't know. It's an awareness that you always have about your surroundings. And you kind of don't have to be on high alert anymore when you're here.
Yeah.
And that's an energy you get to use for something else.
Yeah.
You don't realize that it's an energy you're using.
Yes.
Just to protect yourself. And then you come here and you're like, wait, I don't have to use that energy. And it's a great relief.
I can use it elsewhere, can't I? I can reappropriate that defensiveness and sometimes aggressiveness into something a whole lot more enjoyable in life. So well said. Yes, absolutely. And that is, that's another 80% thing, isn't it? The quality of life is the 80% here. The joy of life that is afforded to you when you drop your guard and relax a little bit. And we definitely need to be saying more about this. So thank you, Jacqui, for being here. Before you go this morning, do you know what this is?
I'm trying to make it out. It looks like a tomato.
Yes, it's a good guess, but it's not exactly tomato. It is I'll reveal the mystery in a little while. If you stay watching behind the scenes, you'll discover what this is, and I will also be eating it. So there's a clue. It is related to the tomato, but it is not exactly a tomato. I think Andy, the doc, will know, who will be joining us in just a moment. Let's see if we've got some more fan mail for you and some comments in response to what you've been saying.